Here is the hard truth that most executives refuse to accept. You cannot manage revenue. It's physically impossible. Because revenue is a history. It's what had happened yesterday. If you want to change the future of the company's growth, you have to look at the scoreboard and focus on what you can manage in the scoreboard. If you want to change the future of the growth of your company, you have to stop staring at the scoreboard. You have to focus and manage, which actually predicts the scope. In sales management, we look at the spreadsheets and we analyze the data and we look at the past numbers. But revenue is a lag measure. It's the results. By the time you look at that, the window of influence has already passed. So if you want to drive growth, you just want to focus on lead measures. These are actually the high impact activities which actually cause the results. If I put it in a simple way, if your team don't make calls for your customers today, you don't have a revenue tomorrow. Therefore, you have to manage the cost, not the results. When you manage the cost, you will automatically get the results. This isn't my own opinion. It comes from 4 disciplines of execution model. Lag measures are things like profit, total deposit, or closed deals. They are lagging because they are in the past. Lead measures are things like outbound calls, face-to-face meeting, or proposal sent. They are leading because they are predictive. Most importantly, your sales team can influence them. As per the research, it has been found out, the organization who focus on lead measures, they achieve 3 times faster the targets than the organization who just look at the past figures. So why don't salespeople just make the calls? I'll tell you the typical scenario. You walked into any sales store by 9 a.m. What can you see? They are clearing their desk, they are in the Facebook, they are in the emails, they are chatting, they are in the break rooms. By 10 a.m., the operational gravity of the business has taken over and the energy to hunt is gone. In psychology, this is called the displacement activity. Your team is doing the busy work, just like color coding the spreadsheet, doing the admin work, having casual chats, because they just want to avoid the pain of rejection when they call to the customers. They convince themselves they are working, but actually they are not producing. They are hiding in the plain sight. To fix this, you don't need a pep talk. You need a protocol. I call this 5 before 10 o'clock. It's a strict behavioral rule. Every salesperson has to make 5 calls before 10 a.m. No exceptions. No check-in emails, no Facebook, no internal meeting, no administrative work, until those 5 hunter calls are gone. Now why 10 a.m.? Because science tells us our cognitive power as well as our willpower is at the peak level in the morning. By doing the hardest and the most important part in the morning, you fully utilize the peak mental energy of your sales force. Now, you may feel like 5 calls, it's a small number. I agree with that. But let's look at the math. 5 attempts or 5 calls per day in the sense that you make 25 calls per week, 100 attempts per month, 1,200 additional outbound attempts by a particular salesperson. Assume that person is having the lowest conversion rate, 5% conversion rate. Even if he is having a 5% conversion rate per year, he will make 60 new leads to the company. Assume you are having 10 salespeople, 600 new leads to the company. All this magic happen reallocating the first hour for the hunter calling. Start managing the activity before 10 a.m. This is how you build a revenue system. If you want more information about my hunter protocol, please read below information. See you soon.